I'm like, because it's very much like it could still be really, really good, or it could really end up being not so great. So I think I'm kind of on the fence about it right now. I think the deals that we've done to bolster the squad, or at least what we think we're going to get done, Kepa's already done. Norgard announced today. And then I guess allegedly we're still going to get Mascara. Those deals are fine, but I think we need to start moving into those bigger deals. I'd love to see Gyökeres get done sooner rather than later. It's worrying me now that it's like at like the stopping point right now, but it still has every opportunity to be the unprecedented window that they said that it would be.
Goosebumps.
It's goosebumps, exactly. But you just never really know with Arsenal, because they've had some poor windows in the past. How do you feel about it? Like, are you optimistic, or are you like, yeah, they're gonna mess this up?
It might sound like a cop out, but I just feel any optimism or any energy, I think it was left in the summer, and I think any little like scrapes that I had was left in January. It's kind of like how can I explain it? Because you did ask me. It's like you just serve up whatever you serve up in it. I'm not optimistic, I'm not pessimistic. It's just I'm accepting of everything. I personally feel, not that me in isolation is anybody, but I feel the club's got to earn my faith again. I'm sure a lot of fans do as well. Like, it's all fun and games. As you mentioned, it's not you saying it, but unprecedented summer. I said goosebumps, all of these kind of things. I need to see it. I share your sentiment in that. I think we need to do a lot this summer, innit? Like, we need starting 11 quality, people that raise the 11, and we need squad players. And we've done that, fair enough. Madueke could be that. We'll get into him. Obviously, you got Norgard, you got Kepa. The only one I'm bullish about is Zubamendi. Like, that's the only level raiser I've got. That, like my man said here, indifferent. Like, it genuinely is what it is. Like, it wouldn't surprise me what we do. It's dark.
Yeah, for sure. I think the whole Madueke thing throws so much confusion into the window, because just a couple of weeks ago it was Rodrygo, and now Rodrygo seemingly on the market, but we're about to drop 50 million on a player, and there's mixed messaging. Some people are saying that he's just for the right, and then other people are coming out and saying no, but he's actually for the left. So this uncertainty, I think, is what's driving people crazy. But I think at the beginning of the window, I was very clear about two level raising attackers, meaning the striker and another attacker. I was preferred it to be the left wing, but now I've kind of sold myself on this Eze situation. Get those things done, and I'm feeling good. Don't get those things done. If it ends up being the case that I'm, first day of the season, we're watching Ollie Watkins and Madueke start for Arsenal, not going to be a happy camper, so just get it done. You're so close to greatness, Arsenal. Please don't mess it up.
And we're fucking about at the worst possible time. And the one thing I'll say to the club, until September the 1st, I can be happy one day, sad the other, and then all the indifference beyond that. But at this moment, it don't look good. Like, I'm not one that likes to watch what other people are doing, yeah, but maybe I'm a bit naive. I know you don't really like João Pedro, but for the fee that they got, João Pedro isn't too far from Madueke. Kudus is going Spurs. They've been linked with Morgan Gibbs-White. Surely Kudus would have been a better option. Surely, even him. Then Madueke.
I mean, I don't know. We were interested in him before. I'm sure that if we had really put our hat in the ring, he would have preferred us over them. Maybe he just didn't really want to fight with Saka for a position. That's the only thing I can really think of. And to be honest, I wouldn't either. If I was a player, I'd be like, I'm not surprised Mbomo decided to go to Manchester United. Maybe Kudus knows that he's going to be a starter at Spurs. Madueke, maybe he's a little bit less concerned about having to fight for his position. I don't know, but I don't really know how to feel about Madueke, because he's just not a player that, since he's left PSV, that I've thought much of. I think that he's quite inconsistent. He has some good, kind of like raw elements, but they're still raw, and he's 23. And I think his final action, the final pass and the final shot, tends to leave a lot to be desired. So yeah, I don't know what Arsenal are thinking with this one. I really don't. It's so confusing. I don't think I've ever been more confused about a player. Do you see any reason why we'd be getting Madueke? Because I don't get it. I don't understand.
Chelsea know how we like to pay for players, innit? We're garbage hunting. Like, I don't know, man. With Madueke, I don't really want to draw you out. Like, I'm open to being proved wrong. We see a lot of I don't know, Jess, but I just feel when we're linked with a player out of the blue like Madueke, some days go past, and then you start seeing articles where, oh yeah, we wanted him last season, we like him, Arteta believes in him. Maybe that's the press putting stuff out. I think 50 million is a bit expensive for, and especially in the attacking realm, for people that are not going to take us to a next level. The only benefit I can see is maybe he's got a point to prove.
Yeah,
Arteta wanted him. He's a backup for Saka. If he's going to play off the left, I might be wrong. Am I wrong for thinking Madueke, Martinelli, Trossard? It's three kind of peas of the same pod. Like, we're just whichever one's in form will be the ones
definitely
playing, innit?
not lifting the levels at all with that group.
Exactly.
You know, it's yeah. I think if he, comes in and is like a rotational option, I could just about take it. But he can't. He's not a starter at Arsenal. Not on the left or the right. So I don't really understand it. But we just have to see what happens at the end of the window.
Do you think he's an Arteta or Roberta signing? I got to ask.
He's
I don't know.
100% a Mikel Arteta coded signing. Come on. Needs to fix him. Prem proven. Wants to maybe stick him in a different position so he could coach him up, you know? Chelsea, like that just gives Mikel, like I've never seen.
We've
I
got
mean, do you
potential
think
that
he's
needs to be
bigger or what?
realized already, man.
Huh?
We've got players with potential that we haven't realized already. So my thing is, why add another one? The only thing I would say in Madueke's defense for me personally is, I know we might have looked at this the same way, but a bit differently if the Gyökereses, the Rodrigos, the Ezes of this world were here first. The only thing I'll give him is I'll give you a chance, really. That's kind of it. And the only thing I'll give the club is it depends what else you do beyond this point, because it's betting a lot of money for potential, and especially in the attacking ranks, which we all know it's just Saka. Saka's the only one that gives us anything close to consistency. We ain't got Gyökeres through the door just yet. And if he's going to be a left, all I can hope for, Jess, is that this is a masterstroke. Me and you, we're not coaches. Hopefully, Arteta can prove why we're sitting here on YouTube and why he's a manager. Maybe this guy's got a point to prove.
Yeah,
Personally, I don't even buy the fact of the squad player stuff, just because I know managers lie, but you're trying to go to the World Cup. The manager's probably told you you're going to feature a lot more in his plans than you. I don't think you're just going to be a squad player. You might deputize for Saka, but that
yeah,
left wing's going to be there for you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it it does reek of he's gonna play more than maybe what we would want. Um, I think, yeah, we just have to wait and see. I feel like we're only gonna get 3 attackers, so
You
if
really think
we
we're getting free?
yeah, I do. I think we'll get Eze, based on, like, kinda like reports today and stuff like that, I do think we will. It's cheaper, it's it's cheaper to get Eze and Madueke than going for Rodrygo. So, yeah, I think we'll get 3. We're not getting 4, that's for sure. So, if you get Madueke, we know which player is not coming. It's most likely Rodrygo is not
I
coming,
mean, we'll get into Rodrigo, but like, have you got any hope of that?
Of what?
Us signing Rodrigo.
I did before we started doing whatever we're doing with Madueke. I think he wants to go. Everything now is coming out that he's going to leave Real Madrid, which is what we were waiting on. But for some odd reason, we've started talking to Madueke. It's so strange that if Rodrigo was somebody that we're looking to get, and we knew that once they got out of Club World Cup, he might be available. Why are we doing this? It doesn't make sense, because I think I'm having in my mind that we have a certain budget and
Same.
we're dangerously close to it. You're 50 million on Madueke, like the release clause, a part of the release clause on Eze, a lot of money on Gyökeres, a lot of money already down on Zubimendi. Where's this additional money coming from for Rodrigo? We're not selling anybody, so it's
True.
it's just giving missed opportunity, because if it was up to me, I would have waited for Rodrigo and seen if we can get that done, because I would have been very happy with the Rodrigo Gyökeres window and nothing else. But now it seems like they're trying to spread things across and do cheaper things, and it's giving me the ick. It's like Rodrigo's there, dude. Like, what are you doing? You know,
Do you think we overrate Rodrygo, like fans? Because I'm hearing Alexis Sanchez level. I don't quite think he's the same
no,
level of Alexis.
no, no. I don't think it's Alexis Sanchez level. I think that he can have an Alexis Sanchez impact on Arsenal. Those are two different things. I think somebody that's going to lift the level of this team is what we need. When Alexis came in, he showed us what levels really were. I think Ozil was probably the only other player on his level at the club at the time. And so Rodrygo comes in and he's instantly like, boom, like this is the level we need to get to. Saka is the only other attacker that we would have that'd be anywhere near his level. I think it's more about an impact rather than he's the same level as Alexis, So I do think he could have that on us. But I think people are also trying to convince themselves that he's not that good because they don't think we're going to get him. I think they're protecting themselves. I mean, it's Rodrygo at the end of the day. I get that we beat Real Madrid and, so it's, but he's a top player. There's a reason why multiple top teams are going to be in for him, why Bayern are interested, why, Man City and PSG and us and probably others will be interested, and they're not interested in other players because this is most likely, outside of Wirtz, going to end up being the biggest transfer saga of the summer. You don't get a big transfer saga if the guy is not good, So, yeah, Leao's there. I don't see a line outside of Leao's door. I really don't. So I do think he's a really good player. Is he Alexis levels? No, but does he lift our levels where we're at right now? Hell yeah. You know. Do you
Facts.
think he's
And even,
overrated or what?
pardon me?
Do you think he's overrated?
I think he is because we're doing that thing with Arsenal fans. Like we act like he can walk on water and turn water into wine. I think he's a good player, clearly, and I share all the
Yeah.
sentiment you said. I think he lifts our level and
Mhm.
everything, really. And I think one thing that I really wouldn't want to talk about with Rodrygo, because Brazilian skills, all of that kind of stuff. I think his
Yeah.
output would need to improve. But the one thing that would be beneficial is out of him, Vinicius, definitely Vinicius and Mbappe yesterday. He'll work his socks off. He's on all of that stuff you need to do in the modern day, and that would work. I just think too many things need to fall into place. Do you feel anything's really changed with Better?
Uh yeah, I do. I think for the most part, he's been able to pivot away from the number one option pretty quickly with the Gyökeres Sesko situation. I know that Gyökeres hasn't gotten over the line yet, but if this were Edu, I do feel like we'd still be unsure about what we're doing, and there'd still be Sesko. But I think Berto is quick to like, okay, this isn't working. Let's move away from it. I also think he's very unlikely to overspend on things. I think sometimes Edu would just pay the fee. Um, I know. I get this. I
I hear
get
you, but oh,
Yeah, no, I get this. But I do think you made a really good point earlier, and I think we all kind of know this, that even if it's 50 million with Chelsea, we're going to get really good terms. If you spend 30 million on another player, but you need to pay almost all of it up front, that's different than paying a million up front for Noni in the beginning.
they're gonna look after their best customer.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, I think that, and he also went through different options as well. Like we did go for Mbomo first. We did look at Sane first. And I think we forget that because it was a long time ago.
It's a good point.
And now we've landed on this one, but I do think that he doesn't necessarily want to overspend. He can get different options through the door quickly. Norgard was done pretty quickly. We pivoted to Kepa pretty quickly. We pivoted to Gyökeres pretty quickly when it was, we know we couldn't get Sesko or we were priced out. So yeah, I think there's some differences, but I think the proof will be in the pudding at the end of the window. I think we'll know very clearly what we're looking at the end of the window. This is a massive one. There's a lot of plate spinning, as they're saying. And we'll see where he lands. Like, I do think I feel a difference, but ultimately, like, we have to see what happens at the end. What do you
I don't
think?
think you're. I don't think you're wrong, Jess. But at the same time, though, I think I had a stream with Kenny Ken, and he said that he calls him open Gilberto in the sense that Madueke, maybe fair enough. We wanted him for a while now, and options are falling into place. But we've based on what Chelsea are doing and looking to do, and what we've been doing, like it just makes sense for us to go for him. Fair enough. Norgard, we pivoted quickly away from Partey, but that ain't really a difficult deal to do. Kind
Yeah.
of piggy banking off Madueke, Kepa 5 million, easy to do. Like I hear you, and you're not wrong. But being devil's advocate, is it really pivoting, or is it just the same type?
I mean, Edu couldn't get a non-cup tie goalkeeper and brought in Sterling. You know, I think the bar is pretty
They were
low
good, man.
because we've been conditioned to believe that a sporting director is meant to be barbecuing for the entire summer and bringing us nothing, you know. So I get it that people are going to be extra harsh on Berta this summer, but we literally had Edu at the helm and he really left us. I mean, the last summer window was just so damaging to his
Shambles.
reputation. Um, you know, that I'm at least happy that on July, what is it? What are we on July 10th?
Them.
You know, that we know we're in negotiations with certain players. We have certain players through the door already. There's some ambiguity on like how many attackers we're going to get, but you know, there's reports I saw just even like a minute ago that we're going to start going into finishing things with Gyökeres in the next 48 hours. Like Edu could
Right, let me
never.
not get excited. Let me just calm
Like
myself down. Go
let
on.
me
Let me
just
just
say
calm
this.
down.
There's never been a window that Edu has had where I feel like he's been this far along at this stage. I think maybe the window where we got